Good evening, everybody. It is June 23rd, 2023, Friday. It is 4:53 in the afternoon. Okay, so this is part 23 of the introduction to Persuasion. Another character who figures into the evaluation of hierarchies is Mrs. Smith, Anne's impoverished childhood friend. Well-born but downwardly mobile, the converse of the Crofts. Mrs. Smith's spirited struggles against misfortune and her ability to retain feeling and pleasure in the face of hardship is not so much a Christian resignation to providence as it is an exertion by mind and heart that is part of character. Mrs. Smith acts like a lady even when destitute, as opposed to those who have money and are vulgar. The true hierarchy, it is implied, is not of wealth or rank, but of the merit of character. Yes, Mrs. Smith is also a realist, not a sentimentalist. Human nature may be great in times of trial, but generally speaking, it is its weakness and not its strength that appears in a sick chamber. She says, in reply to Anne's Christian moralizing, page 147, one of the intricacies of persuasion is that Anne is eventually rewarded for her dramatic impulse in not slighting an old friend, in spite of the present difference in rank. When the plot moves Anne and her family to Bath, she is exposed to all the littleness of a town. Page 129, with its sharp social distinctions and fine gradations of who stays where and appears with whom. Many characters in Persuasion are openly judged, like Mr. Eliot's first wife, as to how they rank, but never more so than in Bath, where people and places and habits and speech are constantly classified. We are taken on a search for systems of classifications through a range of discriminations among lovers, friends, relations, levels of income, taste in art, fashions, and fashionability of location. Austen furnishes us with a kind of cultural geography and makes it clear that our point of view on these gradations differs with our position in the social web. As the novel brings the lovers together, in its final chapters, their reunion is said to be better than the first love because it is fixed in a knowledge of each other's character, truth, and attachment. In other words, in realism and mutuality, like the Crofts, which makes them more justified in acting, page 227. Anne and her lover learn to distinguish anger from pride, caution and fear from duty. In other words, they overcome the split between mind and heart by splitting the difference in views. But startlingly, to a modern reader, Anne tells Wentworth that she was right in submitting to Lady Russell, even though her advice was wrong. This is because it's especially a woman's duty to submit to authority. And so Anne and Jane Austen come down squarely on the traditional side after all, trusting in Providence to make it all come out right. The event, consequence, deciding the rightness of judgment. The two, no longer very young, but still young enough, have their way in getting approval for their marriage. The confluence of maturity and right feeling with independence of fortune, rather than opposed in opposition as in the beginning, legitimate romance. Anne is given her own woman's estate at last as a reward for discovering this. Okay, so that is all for part 23 of the introduction to Persuasion. If you like this content, like this video or comment below. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.